Sir.
But with all those advances, black men are still where they were in the 1970s. Like
That isn't true.
the rate that black people, the earning potential of black people is about where it was. It's like we're stagnated. It's like the way we're educated. Black women are excelling, but black men virtually, African Americans in America are about where they were in South Africa. So all these advances are like feeling good, wearing tight shoes so you feel good when you take them off. But our situations are still the same. We're still shot disproportionately by the police. We're still uneducated. We're still, our communities are dirtier, and our environment are dirtier.
I don't think the data back that up. I mean, there's still unconscionable racial gaps that we have to close.
What is that? What is unconscionable racial gaps? What does that mean?
Well, difference between whites and blacks.
Right.
But in terms of the well-being of African Americans now compared to the 1970s, African Americans are living longer, earning more.
Black men are living longer?
Than in the 1970s? Yes. Are happier.
But wait, we got
happier?
Yes. Yes, happier. In fact, the rate of happiness has increased more quickly among African Americans than among whites.
Just because Snoop got high and did this survey don't mean
No, but
it's interesting because I wouldn't say that people feel that we are, and I don't want this just to, just focus on one single issue, but I don't think that people feel like we're seeing, particularly in communities of color, in urban communities, that we see this optimistic vantage point that this survey.
Actually, in polls, we do. That people.
But you live in a rich neighborhood.
Yeah, I know. But when I go visit my mother, I know that.
Saying things have improved doesn't mean that they're acceptable now, but they used to be worse. Rates of violence against African Americans were much worse in the 1970s, including police shootings. In the 60s, worse still during the riots.
But what has remained the same is that nobody's brought to account for those shootings.
Well, actually, I'm not sure that's true. In the 1960s, during the riots, police would pick off 10 or 15 African Americans a night, and people didn't care. Now they do care.
But nobody goes to jail for it. Caring isn't, listen, I love this data, but caring isn't saying this is horrible. Caring is saying somebody needs to be accountable for it. And virtually, statistically, people do not go to jail. Police officers who shoot unarmed men, they don't go to jail. They just don't, for whatever reason.
And they didn't in the 60s, 70s, and 80s
So how is this helping me, is what I'm saying.
Well, because there are at least half the country now is saying they should. I mean, I did an editorial about the police a couple of weeks ago and said things that I don't think anybody ever said before about the police. Like, if they're mostly good, how come there are so many videos of them being bad?
Okay.
And when you shoot somebody in the back, it's cowardly.
And then you have Orlando
I mean, I don't think that you could say that 10 years ago.